Ciao Juventini, we've got another light news day. However, some interesting things to look at, like some new names that are targeted in the midfield for Juventus. We're going to take a look at the list of players thrown out there this morning. Rabiot and Perin, we're going to get some health status checks on those two players. And the latest in the Lukaku-Vlahovic swap deal, that Juve could be sweetening the pot for Chelsea, all right? So like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the AJC. I'm Alberto. Let's get into it all, okay? We're going to kick things off with Zakaria. Everything remains the same. Monaco's willing to pay 20 million euros outright to Juventus for a final sale. Everybody's waiting for Zakaria to find terms with Monaco and seal the deal. Hopefully that goes down early this week when everything's supposed to resume between Zakaria and his entourage and Monaco, all right? As far as Facundo Gonzalez goes, he is in Turin. His medical's set to go down tomorrow. There are also meetings that are going to be going down between Salernitana and Juventus, potentially tomorrow, potentially Tuesday, that could see him immediately go out on loan to Salernitana, all right? 20-year-old striker from Celta Vigo, Miguel Rodriguez, apparently has caught Juve's interest. And today we hear reports and links between Juve and Rodriguez, and they could make a move and sign him, all right? So looking at more young talent, all right? As far as the midfield goes, this is where, again, we continue to get linked with players, and reports keep surfacing. I've been saying for quite some time now that the midfield is just the biggest question mark around Juventus right now, and I really don't know what we're going to be doing there. We talked about Facundo Gonzalez and the meetings between Salernitana and Juventus that are going to go down. That also, obviously, like we've been talking about for almost every day now, includes Miretti and Hans Nicolucci Caviglia. Now you have reports of all these other midfielders and names that Juve is looking at to help bolster the midfield. We still have Rovella, who is out injured. He's not expected back till right about when the season starts. And even his spot in the 23-24 season, I don't think is even guaranteed at this point. So it's really, really a big question mark as to what Max Allegri and Juventus are going to do in our midfield. And of course, on top of it all, you add Paul Pogba's fitness, which is a massive, massive question mark, as they still have no idea on his return. And all we hear is that every time the workload ramps up, the pain returns in the knee. Well, here's the list Skira gives us of midfielders Juve's looking at. And yes, we've got some new names in there. Well, we have one new name from Skira, which is Ryan Gravenberch. He says Gravenberch is an idea. Partey and Freuler. Gravenberch has been linked with Juventus previously in previous mercatos and whatnot, so it's not surprising, all right? Skira, highly credible, obviously. Sky Germany gives us Leon Goretzka, saying that he is thinking about leaving Bayern, and obviously Juve's interested in him. Sky Sports, always a little bit lesser for me when dealing with Skira, Agresti, Mirko Di Natale, and whatnot. But Sky Sports Germany says Leon Goretzka is catching Juve's attention. Gazzetta is saying 19-year-old from Strasbourg, Diarra, and he's available for 13 to 15 million euros. So one way or another, midfielders continue to be linked with Juve, and we potentially have two going out early this week in Miretti and Nicolucci Caviglia. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what develops there for Juventus. Now, in terms of player statuses, as I said, we would talk about Rabiot. Rabiot will be back to full group training tomorrow. He'll be available for next weekend's friendly against Atalanta, all right? And Perin's going to have his shoulder evaluated tomorrow, and we should have a status report on him tomorrow, all right? Last, definitely not least, Lukaku Vlahovic swap. Every single day we are getting more and more into this, and today is no different. The latest is that Juve is looking at applying some bonuses to sweeten the pot for Chelsea, and essentially it's going to be incentive-based bonuses to try and see this deal through. Basically, if Juve returns to success, it would see Chelsea getting a bonus in this move on top of the funds over the deal, which would actually see them receive more for Lukaku and still purchasing Vlahovic at around 80 million euros, which would see Juve get somewhere around 15 million euro in capital gain. All right, now everybody's kind of saying kind of the same thing, but a little bit differently. Romeo Gresti said that we would understand more early this week in terms of where the Lukaku-Vlahovic swap move actually stands. Di Marzio is just giving us a timeline, saying that this dates back to contacts made by Mana into Lukaku and his entourage in March, and then picked up again after the Champions League final. And we know what Skira says. Skira says discussions are taking place again this week, the next round, to try and get closer to what Juve wants to see in terms of reimbursement for Vlahovic. So this thing's far from over. I put it out on a poll question on Twitter. Do you believe that this swap move will go down? Yes or no? I want to hear from all of you on all the news you just heard in this update video, but I also want to know your answer to that question. Do you believe, yes or no, that this Lukaku-Vlahovic swap deal is going to go down? Do not forget, tomorrow morning we are live, okay? We're going to tackle a recap of the week's news and all the big topics, and look at this poll question, all right? Can't wait to mix it up with you in the comments section, all right? And we will talk tomorrow morning live. Fino alla fine, Forza Juve. Ciao tutti.